Packers Nation, buckle up, because what's happening right now could completely change the future of the Green Bay Packers. We're talking about aggressive moves in free agency, major salary cap flexibility, and one of the biggest stars on this roster already trying to recruit elite talent to come to Titletown. What's up, everybody? Victor here, and welcome back to Packers Nation Report, the home of real Packers fans. And today, we need to have a serious conversation. Because just a few weeks ago, it looked like Green Bay might be tight against the salary cap, stuck with limited options. But now, everything is changing. Reports are coming out that the Packers are preparing to be major players in free agency. And when you look at the numbers, it starts to make sense. With potential restructures and roster decisions, Green Bay could open up tens of millions of dollars in cap space, giving Brian Gutekunst the financial firepower to go hunting for impact players. And remember, the Packers don't have a first-round pick in 2026 or 2027 because of the Micah Parsons trade, so free agency isn't just an option, it's a necessity. And that brings us to the second bombshell. While recovering from his injury, one of the most dominant defenders in football went to the Pro Bowl and started doing some serious recruiting. And not just anybody, he was trying to lure one of the most explosive wide receivers in the entire NFL to Green Bay. We're talking about a receiver who just put up 93 catches, 1,429 yards, and 9 touchdowns, earned All-Pro honors, and is about to hit free agency in the prime of his career. Now imagine that kind of weapon lining up next to Jordan Love. That's the type of move that instantly turns the Packers into a Super Bowl level offense. So now the question becomes, are the Packers about to flip the switch and go all in? Are we finally seeing a front office ready to be aggressive, creative, and bold in order to bring a championship back to Green Bay? Because when you connect these dots, cap flexibility, aggressive free agency plans, and superstar recruiting, this offseason suddenly feels different. And Packers fans, 2026 might be the year everything changes. But before we break down all the details, do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, but only if you're a real Packers fan. Only if you truly believe this team is about to take a massive leap in 2026. If you believe in Jordan Love. If you believe in Micah Parsons. If you believe another Lombardi trophy is coming back to Titletown. You belong right here. All right, Packers Nation, let's dive in. Packers Nation? Victor here, and today's news might completely change the way we look at this entire offseason, because at first glance, it looks like the Packers are broke. Yeah, according to SpotRack, Green Bay is currently over the salary cap by more than $4 million. That does not sound like a team that's about to go shopping in free agency, right? But then Brian Gutekunst comes out and basically says, relax, we're about to get aggressive. And that, my friends, changes everything. Today we're breaking down how the Packers could suddenly become major players in free agency, which contracts might get cut or restructured, and how this could shape Green Bay into a legitimate Super Bowl contender in 2026. Full analysis. Salary cap reality check. Let's start with the big picture. Right now, according to SpotRack, the Packers are $435 million over the salary cap. That sounds bad. But the reality is, the salary cap in the NFL is flexible, and Brian Gutekunst knows exactly how to manipulate it. Gutekunst straight up said, I feel really good. I believe we have all the flexibility to do what we need to do. And that's huge, because when Goody says he feels confident about the cap, history tells us something big is coming, how the Packers can create massive cap space. Now let's talk numbers. Here's where things get really interesting. If Green Bay releases Elton Jenkins, they could free up $19.5 million. If they release Rashawn Gary, that's another $19.5 million. That alone is nearly $40 million in cap space. Then you add Nate Hobbs, up to $8.84 million saved Brandon McManus, up to $3.6 million saved. And suddenly, boom, the Packers could realistically create over $50 million in cap space. That turns Green Bay from a team over the cap into one of the most flexible teams in the NFL. Free agency history, Gutekunst delivers. Now here's why I trust this front office. Since 2019, Gutekunst has absolutely cooked in free agency. Let's look at the hits. Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, Adrian Amos, Xavier McKinney, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs alone was a home run signing in 2024. He rushed for over 2,300 yards, added nearly 400 receiving yards, and became the emotional engine of this offense. That's elite value. So when Gutekunst says he's going to be aggressive, history tells us he means it. Why free agency is more important than ever. Now here's the key detail that makes this offseason absolutely critical. The Packers do not have a first-round pick in 2026 or 2027. Why? Because they went all in and traded for Micah Parsons. And listen, that was 100% worth it, but that also means free agency becomes the main weapon for roster upgrades. No early draft stars coming. So if Green Bay wants to take the next step, if they want to go from playoff team to Super Bowl contender, they have to be aggressive in free agency. Why this is a Super Bowl window? Let's be real for a second, Packers Nation. Jordan Love is entering his prime. The offense is loaded with young weapons. The defense now has Micah Parsons, Jair Alexander, Rashawn Gary, if he stays, Kenny Clark. That's elite talent. This is a championship window, and windows in the NFL close fast. So if Gutekunst restructures contracts, clears cap space, and attacks free agency, we could be talking about another elite receiver, a lockdown corner offensive line help, or even another defensive star. This could be the offseason that pushes Green Bay over the top. Let me know now, I want to hear from you. Would you release Elgton Jenkins or Rashawn Gary to free up space? Or would you rather restructure deals and keep as much talent as possible? And which position do you think the Packers should target in free agency? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. Big moves coming, Packers Nation. Don't be fooled by the salary cap number. This team is positioned to strike, and when Gutekunst gets aggressive, the Packers usually come out winning. This could be one of the most important off seasons in franchise history. Packers Nation, I'm telling you right now, Micah Parsons is already recruiting for the Green Bay Packers. Yes, you heard that right. The newest superstar in green and gold is out there at the Pro Bowl, on crutches, with a torn ACL, and instead of just chilling, he's already trying to build a super team in Green Bay. And the name he's targeting? George Pickens, one of the most explosive wide receivers in the entire NFL. This story is wild. It says a lot about the culture that's forming in Green Bay, and it could completely reshape the Packers offense moving forward. So if you're hyped, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and help us reach our insane goal of 1,500 subscribers. Only real Packers fans join Packers Nation Report. Now let's dive into this madness. What happened? Pro Bowl recruiting. So here's the situation. Micah Parsons is still recovering from a torn ACL, but he went to the Pro Bowl anyway. He couldn't play, but he was fully involved, moving around on crutches and a motorized scooter, hanging out, talking, networking, and apparently recruiting. Cowboys star CeeDee Lamb went on the Up and Adams show and revealed that Micah Parsons spent the entire week trying to convince George Pickens to come to Green Bay. And not quietly either. He was doing it right in front of CeeDee Lamb. That's cold. And it wasn't just Micah. Packers corner Kyseian Nixon was also in Pickens' ear, trying to sell him on Green Bay. Let that sink in. Our players are already out here actively recruiting elite talent. That tells you everything about the mindset of this locker room. Who is George Pickens? And why this is huge now? If you're wondering why this is such a big deal, let's talk about who George Pickens really is. In 2025 with Dallas, Pickens had 93 receptions, 1,429 yards, 9 touchdowns. First Pro Bowl selection. First All-Pro honor. That's elite production. That's WR1 numbers. That's superstar territory, and he did that in all 17 games, showing durability, explosiveness, route running, deep threat ability on the full package. This was the best season of his entire career, and now he's hitting free agency at his absolute peak value. Every single team in the league wants this guy. Why Pickens fits perfectly in Green Bay. Now imagine this for a second. Jordan Love throwing to George Pickens, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Dontavian, Wicks, Luke Musgrave, and Tucker Kraft. That is disgusting. Pickens would immediately become the true alpha receiver this offense has been missing. He's 6'3", explosive, physical, elite at contested catches, and a nightmare in single coverage. Last season, Pickens averaged 15.4 yards per reception, which shows he's not just a possession guy. He's a big play machine that would completely transform Matt LaFleur's offense. Defenses wouldn't be able to load the box, blitz Jordan Love, or double read anymore. It would open up everything. Why Micah Parsons recruiting matters. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Micah Parsons has been in Green Bay for like 5 minutes, and he's already recruiting stars. That shows. Leadership, championship mindset, Super Bowl mentality. This is exactly what elite franchises do. Tom Brady did it. Patrick Mahomes does it. Aaron Rodgers used to do it, and now Micah Parsons is stepping into that role. This is how dynasties get built. Reality check. Can the Packers afford Pickens? Now let's be real. Is this likely? Honestly, probably not. George Pickens is about to command $22 to $26 million per year. And with Jordan Love's contract plus upcoming extensions, the Packers will have to be very careful. But if Romeo Doubs walks in free agency, if the Packers restructure deals, if Gutekunst goes all in, it's not impossible. It's unlikely, but I would say, but it's not crazy. I want your take, so now I gotta ask you, Packers Nation, would you go all in on George Pickens? Would you pay elite money to create one of the most dangerous offenses in the NFL? Or would you rather spread that money across multiple positions? Drop your takes in the comments. I want to hear your opinions. Culture shift in Green Bay. One thing is clear, the culture in Green Bay is changing. Players want to come here. Stars are recruiting. This team believes it can win right now, and that should absolutely fire up every single Packers fan. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to Packers Nation Report, and help us reach 2,000 subscribers. This channel is made by a fan for the fans. This is Victor, and as always, go Pack Go!